U.S. 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 and Jesus is the name. Oh, there is a name I love to sing, and Jesus is the name. Oh, S. And Jesus is the name. Oh, there is a name I love to sing, and Jesus is the name. Oh, and Jesus is the name. Oh.
Hey boys and girls, welcome to Kids Club. It is so good to see you today. I have decided to introduce you to my friend Jenny. She's on the baseball team, and we're going to the championship tomorrow. So I thought you guys would like to meet her. Look, here comes Jenny, right now. Hiya, Jenny.
Hi, Jackson.
Are you ready for the big game tomorrow?
I'm not going.
Wait, what? I thought you're the best.
At sitting at the bench and watching everyone else play.
No, I was going to say you're the best at holding down center field.
Coach took me out of that position a while ago.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize that.
Of course not. You're the most important player, the pitcher.
I wouldn't call it the most important. I just throw the ball.
But I've been working really hard at my pitching skills, and the coach decided to bench me. And the other boys have started being really mean to me, so I just decided to quit.
But I really need my best friend out there with me.
I'm sure Georgie would make a better best friend. He already makes a better center fielder.
You know God wouldn't want you to quit. He always wants us to stick to the stuff we start and give it our all.
Where do you see that in the Bible?
Well, what about the man by the name of Elijah? Do you remember him?
Not really.
He is known for trying to lead Israel back to worshiping God and away from worshiping the prophet Baal.
His job sounds really easy compared to mine. How are we the same?
His job was actually a lot harder than it sounds. Elijah had entire countries against him, and the people of Israel weren't following after God at all when he was ministering to them.
What made his job so hard?
Lots of things. First, Elijah was called to speak against King Ahab and his wife Jezebel for turning the people's eyes from God. Elijah stood up and told the people that they were to be in a drought until they turned back to God, and this angered Jezebel.
I bet they didn't like that very much.
They sure didn't, and Jezebel sent soldiers out after Elijah to kill him.
That sounds terrible. I've never had people trying to kill me before. I can see why he wanted to quit.
But Elijah chose to keep going, and he knew what God had asked of him, so he was faithful.
What happened next?
Next, the king's prophets decided to go up against him and show him that Baal was more powerful than the God of Israel.
How did they decide to do that?
Well, they chose to prove which God could burn up the sacrifice that they were offering to it. When the prophets of Baal went, they prayed to Baal and asked for fire, but instead nothing happened.
I think we expected that. But what about when Elijah came up?
When Elijah came up, God told him to go out and get the water and douse the altar in water. And when I say douse, I mean completely wet. It had so much water flowing off of it that it filled a trench in front of it.
Wow, that's a lot of water. I've never seen a piece of wet wood catch fire.
But that's exactly what happened, Jenny. God consumed the sacrifice, the altar, and the water that was all around it.
Man, I bet Elijah was super excited this time. No reason for him to quit.
Actually, this made the queen even more angry, and her men chased after him more. So he went into the wilderness to hide because he thought that he was the last prophet on earth.
So he did quit.
Not at all. He decided that he needed to rest, and God took care of him until Elijah felt rested enough to go back to the task that God had called him to do.
Even though the people were trying to kill him?
Exactly. Elijah knew God's power was stronger than the man's because he had witnessed so many miracles proving God's faithfulness to his prophets.
Wait, what miracles did he witness?
First, when he was very hungry, God sent him to some food in the town called Zarephath. God led him to a widow and her son for food. All he found with them was a little bit of oil and some flour. At first, Elijah wasn't sure what God was doing, but he told the lady to believe and that God would provide.
And did he?
He sure did. They had enough to eat for a day and for many days later. But sadly, the son got very sick and died, and the mother thought it was Elijah's fault for sickness, and she became very angry at him.
Elijah is good at making women mad at him.
I guess so. But Elijah didn't let this shake his faith. He instead asked God to raise the young boy from the dead, and sure enough, God did.
That's amazing. With all those miracles Elijah witnessed, it's hard to believe that he would quit like you said earlier.
But you see, God knew that Elijah needed rest from the danger. And so God allowed Elijah to be cared for. And in God's perfect timing, Elijah grew strong enough to go back and serve God just as he was supposed to do.
I think I get it now, Jackson. I should take a step back from the bad situation and rest, and maybe I will feel differently about quitting the team.
That's exactly right, Jenny.
I think I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to get my favorite burger and go rest in my room, and then I'm going to get up tomorrow and head to our game.
Really?
Yes, sir. What kind of a friend would I be if I skipped the game? Bye, Jackson.
Goodbye, Jenny. See you tomorrow. And boys and girls, never forget that you can always trust in God when you are weak, and He will provide the rest for you, so you won't feel like quitting. We are to run the race faithfully, and then He will give us strength to go on. Thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you next week. Goodbye!